What if I told you that King Charles's biggest power move against Prince Andrew might actually come back to haunt him in ways he never expected? Just last October, Buckingham Palace dropped a bombshell announcement that shook the entire royal family. King Charles wasn't just evicting his own brother from a luxury mansion, he was stripping him of literally everything. No more prince title, no more royal privileges, no more royal lodge. It seemed like the ultimate statement of authority and justice. But here's the problem. This single decision is about to trigger a chain reaction that could expose the entire royal family to scrutiny they haven't seen in decades. And the worst part? King Charles might have painted a target on his own back without even realizing it. So stick around, because we're about to uncover the shocking consequences of a decision that was supposed to save the monarchy but might actually destroy it from the inside. Let's rewind a bit and understand why we got here in the first place. Prince Andrew wasn't always the controversial figure he is today. For decades, he was just another member of the royal family, the fun-loving, supposedly harmless younger brother of King Charles. But everything changed when his connection to Jeffrey Epstein, the now-deceased convicted financier and sex offender, became public knowledge. The damage was catastrophic. Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's accusers, came forward with serious allegations against Andrew, allegations he has consistently denied. For years, Andrew managed to hang on. He had his residence, his titles, his protection. The royal family circled the wagons and protected him, at least publicly. But the pressure kept building. With each new revelation, each news cycle, the stain on the monarchy grew darker. The public was furious. Parliament was getting involved. And King Charles, newly crowned with a responsibility to restore faith in the institution, knew something had to give. Here's where Royal Lodge comes into play. This wasn't just any mansion, it was a 30-room palace. Absolutely palatial, with a lease that Andrew had signed way back in 2003. But here's the truly crazy part. Andrew didn't pay normal rent. He paid what's called a peppercorn rent, a symbolic, practically non-existent amount. Meanwhile, he had invested over £8.5 million in renovations to the property. To many people, especially the British public, this screamed royal privilege gone mad. How could someone so controversial live in a government property essentially for free? So in October 2025, King Charles finally made his move. The official announcement was brutal in its simplicity. Andrew was out. No prince title, no Duke of York, no Earl of Inverness. He would now be known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, essentially a private citizen in the eyes of the crown. His lease at Royal Lodge was being terminated. He was being moved to private accommodation somewhere on the Sandringham estate. The details kept secret. On the surface, this looked like King Charles finally standing up and doing the right thing. The headlines praised him. Royal commentators spoke about decisive leadership and protecting the institution. It seemed like the perfect solution. Remove the problem, restore the monarchy's credibility, and move on. But here's where the story gets complicated. The very act of evicting his brother, and doing it this spectacularly, has inadvertently triggered something that King Charles probably didn't anticipate. By making such a dramatic show of force against Andrew, Charles essentially held up a mirror to the entire royal system of privilege and entitlement. Think about what happened immediately after Andrew's eviction was announced. Parliament woke up. Members of Parliament started asking themselves a very uncomfortable question. If Andrew's peppercorn rent deal is so outrageous, what about all the other deals the royal family has? How many other properties are leased to royals at artificially low rates? How much taxpayer money has been going to fund royal lifestyles that were never properly scrutinized? According to royal commentator Richard Kay, this is exactly what's happening. The Public Accounts Committee is now preparing to investigate other long-standing agreements between the royal family and the Crown estate. The Andrew problem, as Kay described it, is now being seen as just the tip of the iceberg, a symbol of a much wider culture of royal excess and questionable entitlement. And get this, some royal insiders are genuinely concerned that Charles's heavy-handed approach has actually emboldened critics. By showing that he can so dramatically strip his own brother of everything, Charles has made people wonder, what else can be done? What other royal privileges should be questioned? It's like he opened Pandora's box. There's also the matter of how harshly Andrew was treated compared to other royals. Prince Harry and Meghan faced criticism for leaving royal duties, and the royal family eventually let them go without nearly this level of public humiliation. Andrew, on the other hand, got stripped of everything. Some royal observers are quietly noting that this raises uncomfortable questions about fairness and the king's judgment. But wait, there's more. The financial situation is about to get messy. Andrew was supposed to receive nearly £500,000 in compensation for surrendering surrendering his lease early. But here's where it gets really awkward. The Royal Lodge is in such poor condition that surveying is needed to assess the damage. An early report suggests that remedial works needed could consume most or all of that compensation. What does that mean? It means Andrew, who just had all his income sources cut off, might actually need financial help from King Charles to survive. And ironically, the very public that King Charles was trying to appease by evicting Andrew will be absolutely furious if they discover the king is now financially supporting him anyway, just in a different way. As one royal insider put it, having to provide Andrew with ongoing financial support would be absolutely humiliating for both brothers. It completely undermines the narrative that Charles took a principled stand. It looks less like justice and more like a family squabble that ultimately solved nothing. So here's the bottom line. King Charles thought he was drawing a firm line in the sand. He thought he was protecting the monarchy's credibility. But what he actually did was open up a much larger conversation about royal privilege, entitlement, and whether the system itself needs fundamental reform. The royal family is at a crossroads, and honestly, this situation could define Charles's entire reign. What do you think? Did King Charles make the right call, or has he created a bigger problem than he solved? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I genuinely want to hear what you think about this. And if you found this breakdown of royal drama interesting, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into history, politics, and the people who shape our world. Thanks for watching.